Environmental Impact Assessment EIA. For all development projects, whether government or private, the MOEF requires an impact assessment done by a competent organization. The EIA must look into physical, biological and social parameters. EIAs are expected to indicate what the likely impact would be if the project is passed. The Ministry of Environment and Forests MOEF has identified a large number of projects that need clearance on environmental grounds. The EIA must define what impact it would have on water, soil and air. It also requires that a list of flora and fauna identified in the region is documented and to specify if there are any endangered species whose habitat or life could be adversely affected. Most development projects such as industries, roads, railways, dams may also affect the lives of local people. This must be addressed in the EIA. There are 30 different industries listed by MOEF that require a clearance before they are set up. Impacts created by each type of industry differs and the proposed sites also vary in their sensitivity to impacts. Some areas are more fragile than others. Some have unique ecosystems. Others are the habitats of wildlife. And some may be home of endangered species of plants or animals. All these aspects require valuation before a development project or an industry site is cleared. Now projects are called greenfield projects, where no development has been done. Projects that already exist but require expansion must also apply for clearance. These are called brownfield projects. After the Environmental Protection Act of 1986 was passed, an EIA had get an environmental clearance for a project became mandatory. Project proponents expected to select a competent agency to undertake an EIA. Project can be classified into those with a mild impact, a moderate impact, or a serious impact. Some may have temporary major impacts during the construction phase, which could later become less damaging or be mitigated by a variety of measures. In other situations, the impact may continue and even increase. For example, where toxic solid waste will be constantly generated. Some projects could thus cause temporary reversible damage, while others can have irreversible or even permanent impacts. To get an environmental clearance, the proposer of the project is expected to apply to the state Pollution Control Board. The PCB checks and confirms that the EIA can be initiated. The agency that does the assessment submits a report to the proposer. This may take several months. A report of the environmental statement is forwarded to the MOEF, which is the Impact Assessment Authority. After 1997, the MOEF has stipulated that a public hearing should be done at the local level. The Pollution Control Board put an advertisement about the hearing in the local dialect press. An environmental impact statement, which is an executive summary of the EIA, is kept for the public to read. The venue and time of the public hearing is declared. Once the hearing is held and opinions have been expressed, both for and against the project, the minutes of the meeting are sent to the MOEF. Through this is done, it is evident that the voice of project affected people are still not heard. In some cases, NGOs have taken up the cause of local people. Until educational levels and environmental awareness become a part of public thinking and is objectively based on the fact of the case, these hearings will remain an inadequate tool to control possible impact of new development projects. Experience shows that large number of EIAs are inadequately researched and frequently biased as they are founded by the proposer of the project. While most EIAs are adequate for studies on the possibility of air, water, soil pollution, they generally deal inadequately with issues such as preservation of biodiversity and social issues that may arise from future environmental impacts. Biodiversity concerns frequently are sketchily considered and mostly consist of a mention of species. Without population assessments or census, figures of wildlife or a study of the effects on the ecosystem as a whole, changes in land use, patterns of effect, whole communities of living organisms. This is really taken into account. As such, issues are difficult to assess in quantifiable terms. Issues related to equity of resources that are inevitably allotted by development related projects are also not fully addressed. These cryptic concerns must be dealt with most seriously in environmental assessment, and the public at large should know and appreciate these inadequacies. It is not sufficient to say that an EIA has been done. It is the quality and sincerity of the EIA that is of importance. An EIA is not intended to stop all types of development. The siting of an industry can be selected carefully, and if it is likely to damage a fragile area, an alternate less sensitive area must be selected. In some cases, it is essential to drop projects altogether if the anticipated impact are likely to be very severe. In other cases, it is necessary for the project to counterbalance its effects may mitigating the ill effects on the environment. This means compensating for the environmental damage by afforestation or creating a protected area in the neighborhood at the cost of the project. Rehabilitation and resettlement of project affected people is a key concern which should be given adequate funds and done after a consent is clearly obtained from the people living in the area. In most cases, it is advisable to avoid resettlement altogether. If an area's vegetation is being affected, project cost must include the cost of compensatory afforestation and other protective measures. Thank you. Have a nice day.